Well, hey there, idiots. Welcome back to Observe. Today I'm going to be talking about and reviewing Jeffree Star's most recent, I don't know if you want to call it an apology, but his most recent video that he just put out. And talk about the body language of it, but then also just talk about kind of from a YouTuber's experience, just what's going on. Let's go ahead and start. Alright, so before I go ahead and continue on this, I want to let you know, right off the bat, I have only watched this through once to be able to see if this is even worth my time looking at. And beyond that, there's not going to be a lot of really slick editing to this. I'm going to go ahead and talk about certain areas. I'm watching it on my phone. I'm getting to this to you as quick as I can. I'm going to talk about what I see non-verbally in this. I know next to no backstory on this. I don't pay attention to any of the beauty community, to be fully honest. So I just know that there's been some drama centered around this. So I want to be able to look at what he says and talk to you about it from the perspective as somebody who's spent quite a few years in nonverbal study. And just as a precursor before all of this, nonverbal communication and the reading thereof is only 70% accurate at best. So what I say here is only an educated assumption of things. So don't take it as gospel. Before even starting off in the video itself, we can see here something that I immediately am disgusted by. During apology videos, it's important to be able to convey that you are not there for you. You're there for the people that you have hurt and for the audiences that have witnessed the harm that was being done. And nothing should be about you in an apology video. And this scene specifically, all of it is just centered around Jeffree. He's got his very shiny gold couch. You could see his twin-like banister stairways in the background. You can tell that he's almost flexing his wealth in this. He's posed in this very unnatural way. Sure, some people might sit like that, but it doesn't come across as genuine. He's all dressed up and in a pink bathrobe. None of this says, I'm here to be real. It says, I'm here to put on a show, which is, right off the bat, just not a super good tick on his belt. But let's go ahead and look at some nonverbal stuff here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Now, I've been silent for a very long time. I know that's very rare for me. I've taken a lot of time to do a lot of self-reflection. Now, in the past, I've been very guilty of speaking out of anger, out of frustration.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it there because here's what I'm seeing non-verbally right off the bat. So tonally, his tone has the same tone that I might even be having towards you right now. It's more of a lecture style tone. He's talking to you about something, almost as if you're learning something from him in a lesson sort of way, which is totally fine. Like Vsauce is well known for his lecture style tone, but he's not apologizing for anything. Jeffree has this like almost talking down to you sort of lilt in his words. You can hear it regularly throughout it. And then he also does an interesting gesture here. So anytime that you put your palms up towards somebody like that, 9 times out of 10, now once again, this is just weighing the odds, but 9 times out of 10, this sort of thing is a defensive gesture. It means almost back away or stop, pushing away. So he does that when he's talking about his past, and so he's immediately defensive. He's not coming across as organic, and his tone sounds rehearsed and as if he's speaking down to his audience or to the viewers. All in all, this is a terrible start for Jeffree. It's not ringing anything true. Let's just go ahead and keep watching.
Out of my emotions, I'm so quick to grab my phone and just say whatever is on my mind in that moment without ever really thinking the ramifications of my words, my actions, and for the first time in a very long time, I'm really reflecting on my behavior and mine alone. And I've come to a lot of realizations, and it's been really important to actually understand everything that I was a part of, that I did wrong, and really start a new chapter for myself.
Okay, well, here's what I'm getting from this. I don't know anything about this entire spat that's going on the internet, but what he is conveying with his nonverbal communication, with the defensiveness, the palms out gestures, and his tone, the tilt of his head, all of it is conveying somebody who has been lashed out towards by either one or many people. This is always common in somebody who's getting very defensive. I'm not listening so much to what his words are saying. I honestly don't remember what he just said, but so far what he's communicated with his body language is not remorse. It's not something that he's sorry for, at least communicated through his body language and his tone, but it's more so that he's upset that people are getting upset at him. And that's not an apology, that's just being defensive. So let's keep watching.
A lot of time realizing why I do certain things and why I do the things that I do. And today, there are no excuses. A year ago, I did a video called Never Doing This Again, and I meant that. And 2020 has been
a lot of sass on that. Why was there so much sass on that? Anytime that anybody overcompensates that way with that sort of like aggressive sass, it usually means that they didn't mean that. It's a common thing that a deceitful person will do, is overcompensate for something that was promised before and hasn't exactly been held up. So maybe that's what's happening here. Let's keep watching.
Really, really crazy, and I have added to the chaos. When I filmed my video called Never Doing It Again, I meant every word in the video. Did I slip up? Am I human? Have I done some fucked up things? Of course I have. But
of course I have.
Today, once again, I will not be exposing anyone. For everyone saying Jeffree's gonna be coming with the receipts and we all need to get ready to forgive.
No idea what that's about.
It's the opposite of who I am. I know I'm dramatic, I'm crazy at times, I'm outspoken, but at the end of the day, that is not who I am. And today I will—
That is not who I am.
Showing a million text messages and all these things that allegedly are out there. That's not it.
Real quick here, that's not it that he just did here. If you look at his face here, this is this is a face of disgust. He doesn't have a lot of appreciation for the people that are calling him out on this stuff. I once again cannot stress enough, I have no idea what's going on with him. I'm just telling you what his body language is saying. And so far, all that he's conveyed is a lack of sincerity, a big drive to be able to convey a very important and wealthy self-image, disgust for the people that are calling him out. This is a terrible apology video all the way around, and we're 1 minute and 46 seconds in. So this is going really well.
Are entertaining it behind the scenes, but I will not be. I know this may sound shocking coming from my mouth, but when you accept that you are the problem, you can become the solution. And I've definitely put myself in the victim mentality before when I knew I was wrong, and I didn't want to admit it, I wasn't ready to, and I was too insecure. But today, there are no excuses. Okay. I'm someone that has impulse control, and I'm fully admitting my flaws, and I hope that people can learn from me. I have moments—
Okay, so this should be commendable. Speaking up that you have flaws, things like that, that is important, and everybody does have flaws and everybody has shortcomings. The issue that I'm having with this is that he's stating it so emotionlessly. There's not an emotional change in his voice. You don't see it play out on his face whatsoever, which I know that he's had various work done on his face, so it's difficult to get a non-verbal read, but it sounds very hollow, if that makes sense. And all of this kind of coalesces together for him to say this. That means that he knows it, and he not only knows it, but also doesn't care too much about it. Otherwise, he would have much more weight behind his words. You could always tell that somebody is very truly apologizing by the emotional weight behind what they're saying. And there is perhaps the instances of disassociating in intense emotional situations to where emotions have been disconnected, and it sounds like they're not emotionally meaning it, but this doesn't seem to be that sort of situation, especially with it being in front of a camera, with all of this setup and everything like that. It rings hollow, not disassociated. Let's go ahead and keep watching.
Where I get fired up, I don't think things through. I don't think about how my actions will affect others while I'm saying them. And when you speak from your emotions without fully processing something, it is one of the most unhealthy things, and that is a very major problem of mine. A lot of people want me to address this situation, and a lot of people were putting a time stamp like, Jeffree, you need to speak on this right now. And I think that we live in a world where people are just—
once again, weird sass towards the people that are calling him out on stuff. Not needed. I get if you're angry about it, but like it's not needed all the way around. He just seems to be compensating again, and he's making some good points. Verbally, he's making some good points about recognizing flaws in yourself and improving, blah, blah, blah. But non-verbally, I'm still not impressed.
Just so used to doing what people want right away, and that's not good either. I think it's been very important to stay off of social media. I haven't been on in weeks. I haven't read anything, I haven't clicked a video, I haven't seen anything. And it's been really about finding myself again and remembering why I'm here and how my actions can affect other people and everyone around me. I know there's a lot of people waiting for me to address the situation.
I don't know
now,
the situation.
I didn't try to take anyone down. I'm not a villain in a movie. This isn't a Netflix series with a crazy storyline. I know it sounds like it, and trust me, I'm sure I'd watch it as well, but this is my real life. And a lot of things that are happening and being said are false. When someone else tries to take...
Just real quick. The saying goes, you reap what you sow, for a very good reason. It's a very old saying. As you deal out, so you will be dealt. So for Jeffree to be like, oh, this is my personal life, it's because he's set himself up to this sort of situation. This has nothing to do with nonverbal. This is just me being frustrated with somebody who's very full of themselves, making a fake apology towards people that he obviously has a lot of disgust for. I don't know. I don't have any sympathy for him being like, well, this is my life and it's not a Netflix show, it's my life. And who cares? Who actually gives a shit? Nobody cares. If he's done something wrong, which obviously he has, or else he wouldn't be making an apology video. If he's done something wrong, he needs to just own up to it and get over himself. Get off your golden couch and away from your fancy house just to talk to people and explain that you're sorry. And follow it up with actions is one of the biggest things that anybody can do. So, I don't know. Let's go ahead and keep watching. Otherwise, this video is going to be 2 billion hours long.
Someone else down or their career and it doesn't work, you can't just take a few more down with you. That's not how life works. We have to all take accountability for our own actions and know.
I don't use the finger pointing thing like this because it comes across as very aggressive, very demeaning towards people. If you're gonna gesture, always do something like that. This always conveys that you have an upper hand and you're talking down to the person. Now it turns out that he's talking kind of to himself as well, which is fair, but also still there's not a need for this. There's never a need for this. It comes across as scoldy and kind of like you're an asshole. Just don't use this. Use this, use gestures, always try to maintain openness, and he's just not communicating any of that.
One else's, and that's what I will continue to do. And if I don't, please fucking remind me. Now, I know that I've had a very hard time.
I'm sure people will remind him.
And that will not be happening again. Now, did I mix myself up in drama? Did I speak on things I shouldn't have speak on? Of course I did. Did I believe certain things instead of asking the source? Did I get caught up in the hype? Did I do dumb shit? And did I not just simply call James Charles and ask questions myself?
It's with 100%. James Charles, what do you know?
And that is my fault. I would like to personally apologize to James Charles for the words that I've said and for my actions. If I was really close with someone, I should have had the ability to just simply call them and ask and say, hey, these were the things that were being said to me. Instead, I didn't. I let people really gas me up, get me going behind the scenes, and I really fell for a lot of things and I got caught up in the hype. It's disgusting, it's awful.
The victim, he got caught up in the hype. I have no sympathy for this. Getting caught up in the hype of something doesn't excuse you from being a bad person, and I think he goes on to say this in just a second, but that doesn't mean that he had the right to do it in the first place. And in this sort of apology that he's doing, he's showing that he doesn't really care too much about it. He's stating facts. It's almost like he's reading an autobiography of somebody else that he knows, rather than speaking from his own heart, so to speak, from his emotional depth. He's just stating facts of what happened. And maybe this is an actual intentional sort of deal. I don't understand why it would be. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't come across as genuine. Let's go ahead and keep watching. There's a section here that comes up pretty soon that's just straight, pure gold. And then I'm gonna wrap it up. We won't watch the rest of it. I think we get the idea of what's going on here. But let's watch until we get to that section.
And none of it should have happened. So James, I am truly sorry for my actions and my behavior. 2020 has been very tumultuous for a lot of us. It has been a very crazy year. And I think that James and myself and anyone involved would agree with me that there are way bigger issues happening on this planet. I know that some people may, Jeffree, you're just saying this as a distraction. Jeffree, no, reality is here, and makeup, drama, and beauty, community, gossip, and tea, it may be entertainment for you, and it used to be for me, but it's my life and it's their lives. And right now, outside of our walls, our world is falling apart, and it's truly shocking. So I'm not going to give you an expose of the beauty community. I'm not going to end anyone today. I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I've never committed a crime before, and I've never been to jail. It's been hard to process a lot of what is being said, but involving the situation, I would just like to say that James Charles, I'm very sorry. Anything else that you guys want to know, it will never be spoken about. You can ask other people. I, just like last year, have fully removed myself. And did I get swept up into the bullshit again? Of course I did. And for that, I'm forever embarrassed of. Now, Breonna Taylor still has no justice.
All right, so he goes on. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. He goes on to talk about some things that are actually very real issues, which is very fair. That's very true. There are very big things that are still happening, and those still deserve all the attention in the world. However, what he uses it as is as a shield. He automatically goes from switching to this fake apology thing to being like, oh, woe is me, and then he shifts the subject really quickly over to something else and says, oh, well, 2020 is really bad, so this shouldn't really matter that much. Everybody just kind of please give all of us a break. And while frankly, 2020 is really bad, and there are a lot of really bad things happening right now, and he's absolutely right on that. That doesn't in any way excuse him. That in no way allows him to be able to be like, because of this, I don't have to do anything. Because everything else is really bad, I really just don't have to worry about it. His apology, non-verbally, was extremely hollow, self-centered, concerned with his own self-image. He had no heart behind it. His face never expressed any emotion other than disgust for the people he was talking to. His gestures were very defensive most of the time, very, very defensive, or very stilted, which also came across as a little, once again, hollow and forced. Long story short, if you watched this and you thought Jeffree Star was making a difference in his life, I hate to break it to you, but from my educated opinion, I don't think that's the case. So let me know what you think though, especially if you know a lot more about Jeffree Star. Let me know in the comments below if you think that this is true, if you're defending him, if you have some extra information that I'm not privy to. Just let me know. Regardless, I think that Jeffree could have done a better job at apologizing and being sincere about it. Maybe try just a little bit to mean it, and less bit to flex your wealth and have a self-pity party. I don't know. That's all that I've got for the day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Logan, and you have been oh so awesome, as you always are. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.